What's up everyone? Welcome back to the third in-person video I've done where I'm just filming myself talking about music. I know in the last one I said it would be like another 2 weeks before I posted again. Well anyway, I'm back again to talk about album covers for the second time because I enjoyed it a lot the first time and I just really love album art as a medium. It's like maybe my favorite medium. Besides music, of course, my favorite like visual art medium probably. I think it's a really beautiful idea to try to encapsulate the sound of an album or like what you're trying to convey into this one square picture. And some people like knock it out of the park with their covers, others don't. And that's also pretty fun to talk about and trash on, but in this video I'll just be going over 10 more of my all-time favorites and why I love them so much. Number 1, Kaleidoscope by Turquoise Death. This list isn't in any particular order. I'm just doing the thumbnail album first, I guess. At least I think I'm gonna put it in the thumbnail. This is an album I definitely need to return to. I think I only listened to it once in like a mini Turquoise Death Discog dive I did a while ago. I wouldn't say I'm like the biggest Turquoise Death fan or anything. Like, I feel like their stuff really needs multiple in-depth listens to fully appreciate. That being said, this cover art is gorgeous. Shout out to the artist Gabriel Good who designed this cover. I'll link his Instagram in the description. But this is just like some of the most beautiful digital art I've ever seen. I mean, look at this colorscape. Look at the gracefulness in like all of these line strokes. Like, what a beautiful composition. But yeah, I think this cover has like a strong sense of euphoria to it that really speaks to the nature of these like powerful, monstrously ethereal drum and bass songs. While listening to this album, you feel like you are the person on the cover leaning back and absorbing the music and just feeling your entire life surrounding you. I really love the contrast between the orange and the glistening white. I love how everything's really shimmery. The composition as a whole, like with the almost loops in the sky versus the character in the foreground, it's just so perfect. Number 2, Time Tourist by B12. Here's another masterful work of art done by a man named Trevor Webb, who has many similar pieces of really satisfying, almost photorealistic, colorful pictures. Here's the full image, by the way, if anyone's interested. I'm just really in love with the scale, like this hyper-futuristic type scenery. Makes me think of WALL-E, like you're on the Axiom and there's like a ship coming in or something. And I like that there are people in the foreground and that it's not just like a picture of gigantic distant objects with no sense of scale. Like, this almost gives sort of like a slice of life of the people working here, as if you're like a future worker or something. Also really fits the music too. I mean, you can listen to the first like 3 seconds of this album and be like, yeah, I think this is the right cover for this. Also, just like, spaceships are really cool and awesome, and I love the design of this one. That's about all I have to say about this cover. Number 3, Museum Music by Edward Skeletrix. I was like 100% convinced that this cover was AI at first. Not only because Edward Skeletrix has used AI for like various singles in the past, but because like it's just so off looking. It doesn't look like a real picture. It looks like the kind of thing ChatGPT would spew out like a couple years ago if you asked it to generate a picture of a museum. But no, this is a real image. Someone on Reddit found the full image. I was like searching for the origin of it, and it's this promotional photo for the Cleveland Museum of Natural History. I'll see if I can find like the museum's website to see if they're still using that image to promote themselves. But it's just crazy how vaguely unusual this segment of the image looks. I think the fact that it's like slightly low resolution too just like really sells it. I think the way that the people are arranged combined with like the weird architecture and low resolution just makes this image look not real. But yeah, this cover's strange and I like it for that reason. Number 4, 4 Calendar Cafe by Cocteau Twins. I actually didn't intentionally put this at number 4 because it had 4 in the title. That was just kind of a funny coincidence that I just noticed now. But anyway, There's a very specific shade of blue that I really love. I'll show a few other album covers that share it, but this is it. I love this deep blue. It feels like it pierces you, like it is such a strong color. I feel like blue in general is just my favorite color, so I guess I'm biased towards this cover. But aside from the color of the background, it just looks like an I Spy book, and to me that is really charming and pretty. Sorry, I'm not looking at my phone at like a script, I'm just looking at the cover. When I first listened to this album, I was so drawn to the cover, I just like kept looking at it over and over again on my phone because it's so visually strong. I think the contrast helps a lot. Like I like that certain objects are completely blackened in the background, and then the objects in the foreground are letting their colors show fully. Also, it's kind of an RGB color scheme, which is just like super visually appealing. And I like the text too. It makes it look like a library book that you would find in like the kids section. And again, has the look of an I Spy book, so you know, just presses those nostalgia buttons. I guess that gets extra points. Number 5, Shouting at the Ground by Soviet France. Along with one of the best album openers I've ever heard, this also has an incredibly alluring album cover. Another one that I just keep looking at as I'm listening to the album. It reminds me of Duster's Stratosphere, but just like if aliens made it. I think even if it was just this field and the sky alone, it would make for a strong cover. But then you introduce this, what's that thing from 2001? Tesseract. You introduce this Tesseract-like object into it, and it just makes it so mysterious, which really speaks to the contents of the album. If you haven't already heard this album, you should definitely listen to it. Listen to Soviet France in general. They're just like such an enigma of a band. And I think they are masters at picking cover art that perfectly encapsulates the sound of the album. Another one I could have picked is this title that I don't remember how to pronounce, but it's sort of this cave drawing-like album cover. And the album is this very bizarre set of industrial ambient music. And it's the same thing with this, like the unusual avant-garde ambience of this complements the cover really well. I've never noticed this before, but now that I'm looking at it, it looks like there's, I don't know if that's smoke in the background or if that's just like the tint of the clouds in that area, but it almost looks like something in the far distance is smoking, which, if that's true, I guess that's like another cool detail. If you walked up to a random person on the street and showed them this image, they'd probably just be like, okay, huh, what? Which that seems to be the proper reaction to Soviet France, so I think they did their job. Number 6, Rock Dream by Boris and Merzbow. Another cover with a dark shade of blue that I really love. This one is just like really powerful in a weird way. And also kind of cute. I mean, it's just like a cockroach dreaming about a Boris and Merzbow concert. One thing I really love in visual imagery, especially like cinematography in movies, is grain. I love film grain. I really love like that early 2000s digital look that appears in a lot of like Steven Spielberg films. I don't remember that cinematographer's name, but he is responsible for like a lot of that. Minority Report is one that comes to mind. And I also love the grain in this cover. Like, look at that cockroach. Look at the image used. There is so much like beautiful, I don't know why, like I feel like this shouldn't make it better for me, but it does somehow. It's just like you took that image of the cockroach and deep fried it slightly, and it made it better. And I just love the contrast of the colors, like the yellow text, the white ass cockroach, the blue background. I think what I'm learning about myself through this video is I like contrast. I'm just a fan of contrast. I like how early CW shows and shows of that era are really contrasty. Going back to the cover, this is also just like kind of a bizarre choice for the album. I mean, it is like this almost 2-hour odyssey of ethereal noise rock and just like the loudest noise rock you've ever heard in your life. And the cover art is almost calming, like you wouldn't expect the album to sound like that. You would think it would be this more ambient, chill, folk type album. I know I was making a big point earlier about cover art matching the sound of the album, but I kind of don't care that it's very singular in this certain way because it's just such a good picture. Number 7, Play by Moby. This cover is just fun. It's innocent, playful. It's before Moby kind of soaked himself in like weird controversy. Maybe I'm analyzing it too deeply, but this just feels like that era of the late 90s where everyone was free. Like, I heard in some video essay talking about movies from 1999 that there was this short period of time between the Cold War ending and 9/11 where everyone was just like super chill and everything was great. It was like this 2-year period. And this album, releasing in 1999, fits that period. This cover feels so joyous, it feels so whimsical. I hate the word whimsical, it's so overused at this point, but like, that's what I get out of this cover. I don't think there's any other album that this cover would fit with. I think it is very singularly Moby. I also like the person on the left holding what looks like a light meter. I don't know exactly what that device is. I just like that detail. I like that that's there. I know I keep harping on about the color blue, but like, what a beautiful shade of blue. It's just great. What a great cover. Number 8, Arrowhead by Purian. I'm not sure if I can fully explain why I love this cover so much. I guess I'll try, since I'm fucking filming a video about explaining why I love covers so much. But I guess when I look at this picture, I feel this slight sense of unease. I mean, it definitely helps that like, I know Purian, I know what his music sounds like. I've heard this album, and this album is like just really disturbing, screechy, harsh noise like a lot of his other music is. But I don't know, when I see this cover, I imagine him taking the picture of this cityscape, and I feel so desolate. I'm not really sure why. And while like dim, this is pretty rich in color and composition. I'm a big fan of like city imagery, and I think this works really well with that dim sky, almost like what this background looked like about an hour ago. What time is it? Yeah, an hour ago. I'm also a big fan of the red line on the bottom of the windowsill. I don't know if that's like a beam, like if that was placed there. I don't know what it is. It definitely makes the cover better for me. Like if that wasn't there, I don't know if I would have picked it. I really love Purian's album artwork in general. I mean, like Pleasure Ground, Black Vase, Frozen Niagara Falls, which I used in the last video. I would have included Rainbow Mirror in this video, but I'm almost kind of sick of seeing that image because he just fucking uses it in every album cover nowadays. But I thought this one was just like a nice, underappreciated, really cool looking cover to pick for this list. Number 9, Hybrid Noise Bloom by Merzbow. I'm pretty sure in the last video I said Pulse Demon was my favorite cover of all time, but this is a close second in his discography. Just a cover that like when you look at it, you're just thinking, what is going on? It almost looks like a close-up of someone who was abducted by aliens, like they're experimenting on him, they're pouring this liquid. Like how is this being taken? What is this substance that's being either poured on this person's hand or just used as like this foreground imagery? I really can't tell. Hybrid Noise Bloom impression. Also just pretty beautiful looking in general. I love the purple, sort of a striking image of a hand. I can't really comprehend what's going on. Fits the music pretty well. Number 10, Rubicon by Tangerine Dream. I actually have a list on Album of the Year dedicated to covers that look like science textbooks. So like lots of water imagery, animals, text that's in a certain way. And this is probably my favorite among those covers. I guess besides Woob 1194, I'm pretty sure that's in that list. Dude, I'm having camera problems today. It just shut off. I'm not sure why. Maybe it overheated? I hope it's okay. Fuck, what was I gonna say? Okay, there's something so visually satisfying about this cover. Like, the light yellow text with this like gorgeous imagery of a water droplet. It almost looks like it's CGI. It looks like some video you'd be shown in a biology class like freshman year of high school, like some weird water molecule demonstration, and they just like play stock footage of a water drop. Yeah, this cover mostly just thinks of like the early days of learning science where I just didn't really know what was going on. I mean, I guess the later days of learning science, Okay, my camera did in fact overheat and now is refusing to record anymore, so we're just gonna finish this on my phone. That's okay because I was on the last one anyway. So anyway, Rubicon. I've pretty much said mostly what I want to say about it. It's so elegant and simple, feels like a paint. Like if this was a painting, I would just hang it up in my room. Definitely a perfect fit for the album too, like such an ambient feeling cover. But yeah, that's it for this video. Sorry for the shitty handheld camera work at the end. I hope you enjoyed. You can subscribe to me if you want. I don't know if I'll make another one of these in the future. Maybe I'll make like a worst covers. I mean, I should focus on different avenues of music instead of just like cover work. I thought this would be a good part 2 to make because I like talking about album artwork. But yeah, hopefully I can be more consistent with my uploads. I hope you enjoyed this. See you later.